Speaking of getting hurt, I've often said when you teach, you're in somebody else's studio or you're in somebody else's folk school or whatever, and you don't know what that equipment's going to do. You don't even know it's bolted together, okay? Last weekend I was teaching, and I'll tell you, I had a big commercial place, and they don't let the students use the equipment, the woodworking equipment, so I have to do that. And I was using a bandsaw, a big bandsaw, gorgeous piece of equipment. And first I checked the blades on there and it's running and whatever else and everything's tensioned and it looks like it's going to be nice. And I'm cutting, we're making ducks checks and they got their checks all cut, they're turned, and I have to cut the expansion slot through the middle of it. So I cut about 6 of them. And on the 7th one, as I'm going through, the bearing came off the damn thing, flew down, hit the blade, went over my shoulder.
Holy cow.
I'm telling you, I must have probably I pushed a little to that side and it caught the bearing and the bearing wasn't screwed on tight. Unscrewed the bolt, came down, hit the blade, and went over my shoulder. But man, when you're using somebody else, especially a table saw, man, last guy that used that table saw, you come up to use the crosscut gauge, and on yours at home, you just pick it up and you cut a piece off nice and square. And the last guy that used that table saw was doing something. He put it back to about square, and he didn't tighten the handle. When you get halfway through the cut, that darn thing turns. And I'll tell you, you got to learn to turn your saw off with your knee. You never look under the saw to turn it off. You turn it off with your knee. And you just freeze and bump it with your knee and hope that nothing happens. But anyway, that's my safety story. I couldn't believe it. I had to tell that. It's happened to me many times. In fact, I taught at a senior center, and God, you come out of there a nervous wreck. I'm telling you that's if you could teach at a senior center, they take the blade guard out of the table saw and use it. Instead of bolting it back in, they set it in the slot. But if you don't know that, if you don't know, I mean, you could get killed with that damn thing. You don't know
I
that.
tell you, I use my bandsaw a lot, and those bearing screws get loose just from regular use. I've taken to checking mine all the time now. So it's the blade's wobbling and you're like, what the heck's going on? And you just turn everything off and check all the screws are loose.
Oh
It's
boy.
just regular. I mean, it's an older bandsaw I bought used, 15, 20 years ago, but it's a real solid performer. I just have to check it, but you never know. It doesn't hurt to check those things.
No, I've never had it, never seen it happen, but I'll remember that next time. You betcha I check it. That thing flew clear across the shop. So anyway,
Cut you off, but so
that's me for